All right. I'm Nathan Peterson. I'm the Sparks director, and Isaiah is one of my leaders in there. And I've been the director for about 3 years now. And the first year I was in, we had a large class, and to motivate them to learn their verses before they come into class, we had a marble jar. Can you put that up? Mark, can you put that marble jar up? All right. We have a marble jar that those marbles there represent verses they memorize before they come into class. In order for a marble to get in the jar, they have to know those verses. Well, if they fill the jar up, they get to go to Monkey Joe's, which is a bouncy house. And the first year we did that was 2 years ago, and the class achieved that. Well, last year, our numbers shrank. I think we averaged, 5? And so the bar was high, and they weren't able to get that jar filled. Well, to try to motivate them last year, we said if they fill the jar up halfway, Nick and I would dye our hair pink. Well, that didn't happen before Christmas. So this year, Nick wasn't in there, and Isaiah was in there. And I said, okay, I'll say it again. If y'all fill the jar halfway up before Christmas with verses you know before you come into class, Isaiah and I will dye our hair pink. Well, needless to say, we wouldn't be standing here right now if they didn't do that. So, I guess without further ado, and this is the real stuff. It don't come out. So, but the Awanas verse is 2 Timothy 2:15. It's the 2 Timothy 2:15 verse. It's study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. That's the motto for Awanas, and that's a verse that I repeat over and over again throughout the year. I tend to say that verse over and over again, and it's important because we see what the world's like every day. Our kids are not just homeschooled, our kids are in a public school system. And in order for our kids to survive out there and to be that light in the world, they got to memorize these verses. They got to be workmen that are not ashamed. And this year, we've averaged, I think, 3 kids this year in our class. And they were able to fill that marble jar up halfway of verses they've memorized before coming into class. And I don't think any of them are here. Is Carissa here? Carissa's one of them. I'll brag on her. Last year, I couldn't get her to bring her book. And this year, this girl's coming into every class knowing verses. And there's Joseph, and there's Jordy, and Rylan. He's sick too. So I'm really impressed with these kids this year. And I'm impressed with the parents too, because they wouldn't know the verses unless y'all help them. So thank you for that, and I'm really proud of this guy right here. You know, he can you put that other verse up, Mark? When I asked Isaiah to do a lesson one time, he looked at me like he was all scared. I said, "You got this." And so the day of the lesson, he told me what he wanted to do, and I said, "Well, that's good." And he rocked it. You know, he came in there, and I can't remember what it was. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I think that's all it was. But when I was talking to Nicole about it, she said something about what a comment Isaiah made. And then he said, I don't want to say nothing that'll mess them kids up or steer them astray. Well, that impressed me. Because most people, when they get up to teach kids, they don't think about that. They think, I'll go up and do a lesson and be done with it. But he had the forefront to think of that before he did the lesson. And that made me think of this verse. And this is a verse, I take it to heart. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believeth in me to sin, would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. He gets that. And I attribute that to Nicole and G for sticking with them, for Ronnie and Letha and Andrew for sticking with them. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working, and I'm proud of them. So then again, just thank you to the parents again for your working with these kids, and thank you for letting me be their teacher.